mother, who believed in him more than anyone. Not long after, Sam decided to keep trying. He applied for a local art contest, thinking it would be a good way to get his work noticed. He poured his soul into creating a vibrant painting of a sunset over Maplewood. The colors danced across the canvas, bringing him joy as he painted. But when the day of the contest arrived, Sam was nervous. He stood before the crowd as the judges walked by. Finally, they announced the winners. Sam's heart raced, expecting joy. But again, he was not chosen. The feeling of rejection wrapped around him like a heavy blanket. Feeling defeated, Sam went to a nearby park to think. Sitting on a bench, he looked at the clouds and listened to the laughter of children playing. Just then, an elderly woman named Mrs. Dalrymple sat down next to him. She noticed Sam's sad face and gently asked what was wrong. Sam shared his story, his voice shaking as he spoke about his dreams and the doors that kept closing on him. Mrs. Dalrymple listened patiently. When he finished, she smiled kindly. "Sometimes, when doors close, we must find new ways to open windows," she said. "What if instead of waiting for others to recognize your art, you create your own path?" Sam blinked, pondering her words. What did she mean by that? Mrs. Dalrymple continued. "You could organize your own art show right here in the park. Invite people to come and see your work." Sam felt a spark of hope ignite in him. Could he really do that? As he spoke with Mrs. Dalrymple, ideas flowed out of him like a rushing river. He could create a colorful flyer, invite his friends and family, and perhaps even some local art lovers. Inspired by Mrs. Dalrymple's encouragement, Sam went home and immediately began planning. He worked late into the night, designing flyers and preparing for his show. The next day, he faced his fears and started distributing the flyers around Maplewood. He shared his story with anyone who would listen. Some people supported him, while others looked skeptically at his dream. Nonetheless, he pressed on. As the date of the art show approached, its excitement filled the air. On the day of the event, Sam set up his paintings in the park. He decorated with bright balloons and arranged everything carefully. The sun shone brightly, and the sky was clear. Everything seemed perfect. Slowly, people began to arrive. Friends, family, and curious townsfolk walked to the park, stopping to admire Sam's artwork. More and more people gathered, chatting and appreciating his talent. Mia beamed with pride as she watched her son flourish. Then, something magical happened. A well-known local artist, Ms. Larson, came to the show. She was captivated by Sam's painting of the sunset. She approached him, her eyes sparkling. "Your work is brilliant. You have a unique vision. Sam, have you ever considered collaborating on a project?" Sam could hardly believe his ears. "You want to work with me?" he asked, excitement bubbling inside him. "Absolutely. I think we could create something incredible together," Ms. Larson replied. Sam's heart soared. Everything began to change just because he took a chance and believed in himself. The show was a success, and Sam's paintings drew attention. He gained confidence and started dreaming even bigger. Over the next few weeks, Sam and Ms. Larson worked closely together, creating beautiful pieces of art that combined their styles. They exhibited their work at other venues, and soon people from nearby towns began to notice Sam. He started getting small commissions and sold several paintings. While things were going well, Sam still faced challenges. Sometimes he felt overwhelmed and doubted if he was truly good enough. But every time he felt like giving up, he remembered Mrs. Dalrymple's words. He had paved his own path, and it was leading him to success. One day, Sam was invited to showcase his work at a larger gallery in the city. Heart racing, he felt excited yet terrified. Finally, the day came, and Sam stood before the crowd once more. This time, he was filled with confidence as he spoke about his art journey. After the exhibition, many people approached him with admiration for his work. They praised his talent and unique perspective. Sam realized that all those closed doors led him to this very moment, one that opened up many new possibilities. With each success, Sam remembered that it was not just about reaching his dreams, but about the lessons learned along the way. He made new friends and connections that would last a lifetime. Every challenge was a stepping stone that made his journey richer and more meaningful. From that day on, Sam continued to create art while inspiring others to chase their dreams despite the obstacles. The old phrase rang true for him: when one door closes, another one opens. And sometimes it was up to him to build that door, and he did it beautifully. Sam's path was not always easy, but it led him to places he never imagined. He had created his own success story, spreading color and happiness through his art, just as he always dreamed. Okay, here's the story. The morning sun peeked through my window, painting stripes of light across my room. It was my 25th birthday, and a day I'd envisioned as the start of something grand. Armed with a fresh degree in architecture and a portfolio bursting with innovative designs, I was ready to conquer the world, or at least the city of Oakhaven. My name is Alex, and ever since I was a kid building fantastical structures with Legos, I knew I wanted to be an architect. Oakhaven, with its mix of historic buildings and modern aspirations, seemed like the perfect place to make my mark. My first appointment was at Sterling Designs, a firm known for its sleek, contemporary buildings. I smoothed my tie, took a deep breath, and walked into the gleaming lobby. The receptionist, a woman with a frosty smile, informed me that Mr. Sterling would see me shortly. 20 minutes later, I was ushered into Mr. Sterling's office, a minimalist space with a breathtaking view of the city. He glanced at my portfolio, his expression unreadable. "Interesting designs, Mr. Davis," he said finally, his voice devoid of warmth. "But we're looking for someone with more experience. Perhaps you should try some smaller firms." My heart sank a little, but I plastered on a smile. "Thank you for your time, Mr. Sterling," I said, trying to sound confident. "I appreciate the feedback." The next firm on my list was Heritage Restorations, specializing in preserving the city's historical landmarks. I figure my passion for blending old and new might appeal to them. Ms. Albright, the firm's owner, was a kindly woman with a genuine love for Oakhaven's past. She studied my portfolio with a thoughtful frown. "Your designs are certainly creative, Alex," she said, "but they're a bit avant-garde for our taste. We need someone who appreciates tradition, someone who understands the nuances of historical architecture." I tried to argue that my designs could complement historical structures, but she shook her head gently. "I'm afraid your style is not quite what we're looking for." By lunchtime, I had visited 3 more firms, each rejection echoing the same sentiment. Not experienced enough, not traditional enough, not enough. Doubt began to creep into my mind, a cold, insidious whisper questioning my talent, my dreams, my very worth. I sat on a park bench, nursing a lukewarm coffee and staring at the cityscape. The buildings that had once inspired me now seemed like towering monuments to my failure. Was I wrong to believe in myself? Was I foolish to think I could make it in this competitive world? Just then, my phone rang. It was my friend, Sarah. "Hey, birthday boy," she chirped. "What are you up to?" I thought we were grabbing lunch. I hesitated, not wanting to burden her with my woes. But Sarah was one of those rare people who could see through any facade. Actually, I confess, it's been a pretty awful day. I've been rejected by every firm I've applied to. There was a moment of silence, and then Sarah said, "Alex, don't let those stuffy firms define you. You have incredible talent. They're just too blind to see it." Her words were like a balm to my wounded ego. "Thanks, Sarah," I said, a little choked up. I needed to hear that. "Listen," she continued, "I have an idea. Remember my cousin, Emily? She's opening a cafe downtown, and she's been complaining about how boring the space is. Maybe you could offer to help her redesign it." A flicker of hope ignited within me. It wasn't a grand architectural project, but it was an opportunity. "That's a great idea, Sarah," I said, my voice filled with renewed energy. "I'll call Emily right away." Emily was thrilled with my offer. She had a limited budget, but she gave me free rein to transform the cafe into a vibrant, welcoming space. I poured my heart and soul into the project, working tirelessly to create a design that was both functional and aesthetically pleasing. I incorporated natural light, used sustainable materials, and added quirky artistic touches. I designed custom furniture, created a unique lighting scheme, and even painted a mural on one of the walls. It was a chance to express my creativity without the constraints of corporate expectations. As I worked on the cafe, I realized something profound. I didn't need the validation of established firms to be a successful architect. I could create my own path, one project at a time. The cafe, which Emily named the Corner Perk, opened to rave reviews. Customers loved the atmosphere, the design, and the overall vibe. Word spread quickly, and soon other small business owners started approaching me for design consultations. A local bookstore owner wanted to create a cozy reading nook. A young entrepreneur needed help designing a trendy co-working space. A community center wanted to renovate its outdated facilities. Each project was unique, challenging, and incredibly rewarding. I started my own freelance practice, Alex Davis Designs, and built a portfolio of diverse and innovative projects. I collaborated with local artists, supported sustainable practices, and focused on creating spaces that enhance people's lives. Years passed, and my reputation grew. I became known as the architect who could transform ordinary spaces into extraordinary experiences. My designs were featured in magazines, and I received accolades for my creativity and commitment to community development. One day, I received a call from Mr. Sterling of Sterling Designs. He had heard about my success and wanted to offer me a position at his firm. I paused, reflecting on the journey that had led me to this moment. I had faced rejection, doubt, and disappointment. But I had also discovered my own strength, resilience, and unwavering passion for architecture. "Thank you for the offer, Mr. Sterling," I said, my voice calm and confident. "But I'm afraid I'm quite happy with my own firm. I'm building my own path, and I wouldn't trade it for anything." I hung up the phone, a smile spreading across my face. The doors that had once closed on me had led me to build my own, a path that was more fulfilling, more meaningful, and more successful than I could have ever imagined. The sun streamed through my office window, illuminating the blueprints of my latest project, a community art center. I was exactly where I was meant to be, an architect on my own terms, creating a lasting impact on the city I loved. Once upon a time in a small town called Willow Creek, there lived a young woman named Lily. She was bright, hardworking, and had dreams bigger than the sky. From a young age, Lily loved painting and dreamed of becoming a famous artist. Her room was filled with colorful paintings of sunsets, flowers, and the enchanting woods that surrounded her home. Lily's family was supportive but struggled to make ends meet. Her parents worked long hours at the local grocery store. They often told her to choose a practical job, but Lily's heart was set on art. She believed that one day her paintings would find their way into the homes of many people. One sunny morning, Lily decided to participate in an art competition held in the town square. She spent weeks preparing her masterpiece, which was a beautiful painting of the town's famous willow tree. On the day of the competition, she was filled with excitement and nerves. She arrived early to set up her painting, surrounded by other talented artists, each with unique and stunning works. As the judges walked around, they seemed captivated by the other artists' paintings. When they arrived at Lily's stand, she proudly explained her artwork and the story behind it. But instead of looking impressed, the judges quickly glanced and moved on, hardly registering her presence. Lily felt her heart sink. After the competition, the winners were announced. To her surprise, Lily's name was not called. She watched as the crowd cheered for the other artists. Disappointment washed over her, and tears of frustration filled her eyes. She felt as if a door had closed firmly in her face. She left the square feeling defeated, unsure of what to do next. At home, her parents noticed her sadness. They comforted her and tried to lift her spirits. "It's just one competition, Lily. Don't lose hope," her mother said. But Lily couldn't shake the feeling of rejection. She started to doubt whether she was truly meant to be an artist. Days turned into weeks, and Lily began to turn away from painting. Her brushes sat untouched, and her canvases collected dust in the corner of her room. One evening, while sitting in a park, she met an elderly woman named Mrs. Thompson. The woman noticed Lily's sad expression and sat down beside her. "Why so glum, dear?" Mrs. Thompson asked gently. Lily sighed and shared her story about the competition and her dreams of becoming an artist. Mrs. Thompson listened intently and then smiled warmly. "You know, my dear, success often requires many failures along the way. It's like painting a picture. Sometimes you need to paint over mistakes to create something beautiful. Her words struck a chord in Lily. She realized that she had given up too quickly. That night, she went home and picked up her paintbrush once again. She decided to create a series of paintings that told the story of Willow Creek through her eyes. Slowly but surely, her passion returned. As she painted, she heard about a local gallery that was looking to showcase emerging artists. She had heard mixed reviews about the gallery, but Lily saw this as another chance. She worked diligently on her new collection and finally felt proud of her art again. When the submission date arrived, Lily nervously delivered her paintings to the gallery. The day she waited for finally came, filled with anticipation. The gallery hosted an opening night for new artists. She hoped people would appreciate her work. The night was buzzing with excitement as art lovers flowed into the gallery. Lily stood by her paintings, heart racing as she watched people look at her work. Some smiled, others seemed deep in thought, analyzing every brushstroke. When the evening came to a close, Lily felt a sense of accomplishment no matter the outcome. The next day, she received a phone call from the gallery owner, a kind man named Mr. Jenkins. He wanted to feature her work as a star exhibit. "Your paintings speak to the heart, Lily. The community needs to see your vision," he said. Lily was overjoyed. It felt like the walls that had closed in on her were finally crumbling down. With the support of Mr. Jenkins and the community, the exhibit opened to a full house. Many came to see the young artist from Willow Creek. They were drawn to her colorful and emotional paintings that told tales of their town. As she mingled with the visitors, she felt a strange sense of belonging. One guest approached her, an art critic named Mr. Williams. "I've never seen art that captures so much emotion," he told her. "You have a gift, and I'd like to help you promote your work." Lily couldn't believe it. This was another door opening that she thought had been firmly shut. Through Mr. Williams' guidance, Lily began to gain recognition outside of Willow Creek. Another big gallery in the city wanted to showcase her work. Her heart soared, and she was ready to embrace this new opportunity. But she never forgot the lessons learned from her earlier experience. As she traveled and met new people, sharing her story of determination, Lily discovered that there were countless others like her, people who faced rejection but chose to keep going. Each new friend she made added more colors to the canvas of her life. Months passed, and Lily received an invitation to showcase her paintings at a national art festival. She stood before her easel, painting a vibrant mural of hope, resilience, and dreams. She knew that every door that had closed on her was now a part of her journey to success, leading her to this moment. On the day of the festival, she stood in front of her mural, surrounded by thousands of visitors. The joy and excitement were overwhelming. She realized that she had built her own path to success, with every brushstroke telling her story of perseverance. From that day on, Lily never doubted herself again. Each rejection became a stepping stone, leading her closer to her dreams. The journey was not easy, but she had learned that success was about more than just recognition. It was about creating, believing in herself, and never underestimating the power of her dreams.